Yesterday I told you guys that I was gonna let you control my day today. You decided for me to go to South Kensington instead of Hyde Park, and you told me to drink iced coffee instead of juice, and you said that you would rather have me talk about how I dealt feeling like an outsider as a TCK. That's what this video is going to be about today. I'm going to take you to South Kensington. I'm going to go drink some coffee and maybe get a burger or some food because I'm so hungry. And then I'm going to talk to you about how I dealt with feeling like an outsider at the TCK. And believe it or not, I still feel like that. So I'm going to let you guys in on my thoughts. I'm going to head out now. I will speak to you soon. I asked you guys what you wanted me to drink today, and you guys said that I should be drinking an iced coffee, so there we go. I am drinking the iced coffee. We are now in South Kensington because you guys said that you wanted me to go here instead of Hyde Park. So I'm here, and it's actually a really nice day, so I'm really happy that you guys said South Kensington. Okay, so the topic we're going to talk about today is about how I dealt with feeling like an outsider as a third culture kid. So, where do I start? Well, I first realized that I wasn't, like, that third culture kid wasn't just a term for, like, a kid that went to an international school. It's someone who's lived somewhere else for a longer period of time. So when I moved to Hong Kong, after I had lived in Beijing for a really long time, I started to get a lot of questions from people about where I was from, where home was, and all of that, you know, all of those annoying, like, heart palpitating questions that you get when you're a third culture kid. And I didn't know how to answer them, so for a while, I was just like, I don't know who I am. And I had this massive identity crisis where I just did not know what I was doing, who I was, like, anything. Like, I just didn't know anything. So I kind of was just like that for like 2 years of my life. I didn't make a lot of friends. If I did, they were also third culture kids, and I was just lucky to have bumped into them. But most of my time, friend-wise, was spent with my best friend online. And my best friend is a third culture kid. She is half Swedish, half Norwegian, but she's lived in China for a lot of her life. So we would talk online every day. We would talk on Facebook, on Skype. We just kind of talked online all the time. So that's kind of how I dealt with it in the beginning, and I kind of didn't really acknowledge it, or like I wasn't really actively dealing with it at the start. And then after Hong Kong, I moved to London. And that's when I felt even more like a third culture kid, because so many people in London had a lot of their groups already formed because they had lived here for such a long time, and you know, they had friends from when they were younger and everything, and I was kind of the person that was coming in, and I was like a really weird person that was Asian but not really Asian, and then I sound American kind of because of my accent, because I had grown up with international schools. So in that time, I managed to find a bunch of third culture kid friends who used to live in Beijing and then lived in London. It was a bit complicated because I was living in Epsom, which is like technically in London but not really. So every week I would go into London City and see those friends. And that's how I coped with it for another year. And then I started to kind of just get used to the fact that I was a bit different. I didn't realize why so much at the time either. And then a year after that, so by this time I was like, I don't know now, like 22. I was starting to ask myself, like, am I the only person that feels like this? And I knew I wasn't, because my best friend was also feeling the same thing. So I decided to ask a bunch of my friends from high school how they were feeling and to share their stories. And then after I got like lots of stories from them, I found that so many people had felt so different from others, and they really didn't know how to answer the question, where is home and stuff. And then that's when I found a community. And through these people that shared stories, I started to build my Instagram account that you guys know of, and my YouTube channel, and my Slack channel. And just over time, by finding the community, I was able to deal with it much better. And I would think about it a lot, and I noticed that instead of looking at things in a way that made me feel like I was different, I looked at things in a way that made me feel like, oh, this is part of who I am, and this is part of my culture, and all of that stuff. And then when I started doing that, I started to become much happier. And I started to realize that it wasn't a weird thing for me not to be able to make friends so easily. It was just normal for people like me, because it's hard for us to connect. We're so used to growing up with so many different cultures. And lots of different cultures bring us lots of different experiences, because our different friends want to show us different things from where they're from or where they have been. So we're just used to new stuff and exciting stuff, and we're used to wanting to travel all the time. And people that don't have the same upbringing don't want that stuff, because they're not really used to it, so it's not part of their it's not part of their normality yet. So when I figured that out, I was like, okay, so I'm not that weird, it's just how I was brought up. And I've learned to kind of just be okay with it. It's so different for everyone and how everyone is going to deal with it, so I can't tell you how I think you should deal with it. But personally, the way I dealt with it is by, one, accepting myself and who I am because of my upbringing, and that it's okay to want new things, and it's okay to want to travel, and it's okay to always want new cultures around me and new experiences, and that forming new friendships is difficult, because at the end of the day, the friendships I do form become so much stronger, because I really choose to connect with people who I can actually connect with, and not just people that I just want to be friends with for the sake of being friends with them. So yeah, I guess if you guys are looking for advice on how to deal with feeling like an outsider, my best advice to you is to understand yourself first. Understand what you feel home is. Understand what makes you you. Understand the things that you like to do. Understand if you get claustrophobic in places, and understand what you want to do about it. Like, there's always something you can do about it. So even if you do feel really lonely sometimes and you just feel like disconnected from everybody, it's okay. Like, you don't have to, it's okay to feel like that. And I think you should let yourself feel like that for some time and accept it. Because it's part of who you are. You know, everybody has something like that. It's not just third culture kids. It's people who have something different about them that they are not sure about. For example, people who have not come out yet. this is like a super abstract example, but people who have not come out yet are kind of uncomfortable with who they are because they don't understand it. But once they do, and once they're open about it, people will accept it if it's the right people. So it's the same with third culture kids. If you don't really know what you are yet, or you don't really understand it, then just take some time to get to know yourself and understand you and the differences between you and the people that you can't connect with, and then just accept it. And then in time, the people who you're supposed to make friends with and the people who are supposed to have strong connections with you are the people who will. The thing I do that really helps me the most is just to not care about what people think of me, or why people think that it's weird that I can't answer where home is. Like, so what? It doesn't matter what they think. What matters is what you feel, and if you feel that you know where home is, and if you feel you know what it is and what it is for you, then that's what matters. So that's how I deal with being an outsider as a third culture kid. I hope that this helps you guys somehow, and it helps you kind of understand who you are and what you can do to deal with it if you guys are currently dealing with it right now. Please know that it doesn't last for a long time, like feeling, well, okay, it kind of does last for a long time, like feeling a bit weird or different. But the feeling of that feeling as a bad feeling won't last for a long time. It ends up feeling good. Trust me, like now that I am comfortable with who I am and my upbringing and all that stuff, I'm really happy, so yeah. And if you guys have any questions or anything, or if you have anything else you want me to talk about, leave it in the comments below or ask me on Instagram. I always ask guys questions on there. I'll put links below to my Instagram channels so you guys can hang out with me there. I hope all of you guys have a really good day, and you have all of my cultural love.
Because everybody uses their phone to pay for everything, so they have to take